You talked about Bitcoin being not being able to be copied. And so many people that I've talked to over the years, that's one of the first things they bring up is like, oh, there's lots of Bitcoins. There's Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV, Bitcoin this,
Mhm.
Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Diamond, all of them. So I mean, obviously the code can be copied, and Ethereum was started with a copy of the Bitcoin code, but there is to the sense that most of all of those projects have failed. There is this reality that it cannot be copied. And so what is it from your perspective is it just the network effect? Is it the fact that Satoshi, we don't know who Satoshi is? Like, what is it that really sets Bitcoin apart? Is it got the special sauce? What do you think?
So, what makes Bitcoin special, and that this thing is resistant to replicability, but the other things aren't, is that a, a lot of it has to do with this immaculate conception thing. Satoshi disappearing being uh, one of the things that made it special. It's sort of like the analogy is if I take a shower and use a towel afterwards, I get I'll get dry. Like the towel will dry me up. But if I use the towel first and take the shower later, I will have a different result. So uh, the temporal order in which something takes place is super important in this. Uh, if if this is resistance to replicability, if this can deliver on its promise, if Bitcoin actually works, we will have to converge on one chain, and that is the chain with most work. Like that is Bitcoin, and anything else that tries to imitate that or replicate that or duplicate that or copy that or whatever you will uh, has to differentiate itself from the original thing to such an extent that it cannot be compared to it, because there is no incentive for people to use that other chain in the long run, since the one that has the most security is the one that is provably most likely to be finite for the longest time, which makes us converge to one and makes all the others scams at worst, and just uh, self-defeating at best. I don't think that there's a way to ever duplicate this experiment. It's a one-time thing. The whole 21 million cap is the point. It has to be scarce. Otherwise, there's no point in doing this. That's why it's an agreement on a fixed set of rules, and that it's the only rule set that allows us uh, to that that allows for this rules without rulers thing, where it's more expensive to try to break the rules than to follow them. So I like to use chess as an analogy. So the game of chess, if you know the rules to chess, you can play with any other chess player in the world, and the rules change by overwhelming social consensus, and they haven't been changed for almost 1,000 years, when there was a move called en passant that was introduced to chess. It's when you can take a pawn that has moved 2 steps. You can take it by, if you have a pawn next to it, then you can still take it and move to the other square. Are you familiar with this chess move?
Uh-huh.
Anyway, it's the latest addition to the rules of chess. And if you know these rules, you can play with any other chess player in the world. Uh, if you know some other rules, you may be able to play with a player here and there, but the social network of other chess players, your chess web of connections, is much smaller. So why would you even want to play that type of game when you can know the proper rules and play the bigger game? So you could play chess cash, for instance, or chess Satoshi's Vision, where the board has 64 times 64 squares instead of 8 times 8, and there's just a couple of pieces in one corner. But nobody else plays that. You could play chess Therium, in which the rules change with every move, and there's a committee with a Vitalik on top that changes the rules with every move you make. And there's also a 70% pre-move. Or you could play chess Nero or Z chess, where you cannot know where the chess pieces are at all. You could play light chess, which is just like chess, but the black pieces start instead of the white ones, or something. That these are the cryptos, right? They are just like alternative rules of chess, and nobody plays them for a reason, because we have to converge on one set of rules that will make the game so much better, because more people can play it. So, and Bitcoin is similar, I'd say.
So, kind of when you realize this about Bitcoin, and that it couldn't be copied, how did it impact you personally? Like, what happened in your discovery of Bitcoin that gave you that aha moment, that put you down this rabbit hole, that caused you to write all these books and really think deeply about Bitcoin as element zero or a base layer for humanity?
I mean, I can't pinpoint a specific point in time where I discovered Bitcoin. It was more like gradual pennies dropping in
Uh-huh.
succession. One of the moments was, of course, the block size wars, and when the Segwit 2x hard fork was denied, which to me proved that the users were in charge and not the big money, the big players. So we won that battle. That doesn't mean we will win every war, but it sure meant that we won that battle. Uh, and it was just beautiful to see that Bitcoin actually delivered on its promise of decentralization. And to my knowledge, no other currency or cryptocurrency, I should say, no other shitcoin, if you will, has ever had anything even remotely similar in terms of proof of resilience, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a moment. Another moment was when I printed out a couple of paper wallets with QR codes on them. So there's an address and there's a private key, and I put the paper wallet. So it's a piece of paper that I put in an envelope, and I sealed the envelope, and I had already scanned the address, and I could send Bitcoin into the envelope. And I realized that at that moment that, holy shit, I just teleported value into a thing. I could teleport value into a bank vault and out of it if I was in the bank vault. But like, this is amazing. This is information money. This is completely different. And then you start falling down all these other rabbit holes with, like, the first thing is, of course, what is money in the first place? Like, what is this thing? And you realize that it's all about human interactions, and having humans having a way to do economic calculation and express value to one another. And then the Austrian economics praxeology rabbit hole is like endless too, and there's so much there. It feels like you finally find truth goggles that actually that allows you to see the world for what it really is, and not what the politicians want you to think it is. And that's just a beautiful thing to explore too.
So you've heard Bitcoin is the new gold rush by now. As world leaders on all sides have endorsed it as the future of money, and now you're looking to get started, we'll show you how. It's actually easier than you think. First, go to your nearest Byte Federal ATM and turn your cash to coin. Byte Federal has over 1,200 locations around the country, with the highest daily limits. Go to our website, bytefederal.com, to find the nearest ATM to you. Log in to any wallet, then create an account, deposit your US cash, and instantly convert it to Bitcoin. That's it. We are the only US manufacturer and operator in the Bitcoin ATM industry, and our US-based live customer service is second to none. Go on, give it a whirl, and don't get left behind. Click the link below.